Hello and welcome to a Talmud Israeli production. Today we'll review the highlights of this week's course of Daf Yomi study, Masechet Shabbat, pages 93 to 99. 93, Tzadi Gimel. Here the Gemara talks about a case in which two people together perform a malacha, prohibited labor on Shabbat. The question is, are they both liable? Are they both exempt? What's the story? Well, in the specific case of Ze Yachol v'Ze Eino Yachol, where one person could complete the labor himself, but the other person could not, Divrei HaKol Chayav, everyone would agree that someone is guilty here. But which one? Who is the guilty party? Rav Chisda explains it's the Yachol, the person who could complete it himself. Because as for the person who could not do so, Mai Ka'avid, what has that person actually accomplished? Hardly anything. To this the Gemara explains, well, you might have thought that the person who is Eino Yachol nonetheless would be held liable because he was a Misayeya. He provided assistance, he provided support. To this, the Gemara says that we could now conclude Misayaya ein bo mamish, that a person who provides mere support but is not the primary actor involved, such a person has halachically done nothing at all. Ein bo mamash. 94. The topic here is about carrying people. And the Gemara concludes that Adam chai noseat atzmo, a live human being carries himself, in the sense that if person A were carrying person B, person A is not really doing the full act of lifting of person B, but rather the carried person is shifting his body weight so as to make himself lighter all the time. This means that only a live person is considered to have carried himself, but a dead body, a corpse, a mate, is not noseat atzmo. It is considered an act of prohibited carrying to carry a dead body in the public thoroughfare as opposed to a live person. 95. Here the Gemara talks about mirabates, or sprinkling the ground with water in order to lay the dust. In antiquity, this was an important thing because they had earthen floors. If a person wants to lay the dust on the Sabbath, what should you do? Well, you can't directly lay the dust on Shabbat, it's prohibited. However, you can do so in a roundabout fashion. You could bring a pail of water, panav and wash your face with the water from that pail in one corner of the house, and wash your hands in another part of the house, and your legs in another part of the house. So you're going around the house with that same bucket of water, splashing your various body limbs with that water, and what happens? The water hits the ground, and in effect, you were merabet tabayit, you laid the dust with sprinkling of water. It happens in and of itself with no prohibition having been violated. 96. Sadivav. Rav tells us, Matzati Megillat Starim Bei Rabbi Chia. I found a secret scroll in the Academy of Rabbi Chia. The Katuba, and it said in that secret scroll, Isi ben Yehuda Omer, Avot Malachot Rabim Chaser Achat, that there are 40 minus 1, or 39 primary categories of labor on the Sabbath, and you're only liable for one of them. The Gemara incredulously wonders, you're only liable for one of them? Rather, it must mean you're not liable for one out of these 39, but you are liable for all the other 38. But interestingly, what is this secret scroll? What is Megillat Starim? So Rashi explains to us what this means. Shehistirum lefi she'en kotvin halachot. It was necessary to hide the notebooks of the students in the yeshiva in ancient days, because it was forbidden to write down halachot. The oral law at that time, the Torah shebe'al peh, was truly oral, was truly be'al peh, and it was forbidden to write down halachic rulings. And so if a person did so, it had to be secreted away as a private personal notebook, not for public consumption. Tzadi Zayin, 97. The Gemara tells us that a person who suspects of wrongdoing another person who in fact was kosher and innocent of that wrongdoing, ultimately the person who did the act of suspecting will be stricken in a bodily fashion. Ha-choshed b'ksharim lo ke begufo. How do we know this? From the story of Moshe's attitude towards Bnei Yisrael. Moshe said that the people would not believe him, but in fact the people were ma'aminim, as it says, Vaya amenha, the people believed. And they are the sons of ma'aminim. They are the sons of believers in the sense that Avraham Avinu, at the case of Brit Ben Habatarim, the covenant between the parts, He believes in God's promise. And yet Moshe tells the people speaks of the people that they are not likely to believe in his mission when he confronts God at the burning bush. And so where is he ultimately punished? At the episode of Mei Meriva, where Moshe is told by Hashem that he will not enter the promised land. Why? Because Ya'an lohem mantim bi lahakdisheni, you didn't believe in me to sanctify my name. And how do we know Moshe was stricken in a bodily form? Because at the episode of the burning bush, Moshe was told to put his hand into his chest and take it out, and it would be leprous, white as snow. So because he didn't believe that the people would believe, he was stricken with Sarat. 98. Sarichet. If you carry 4 cubits in the public thoroughfare, which is a roofed area, there's a ceiling over this public domain, you are exempt from any liability, from the Korban Chatat. Why? Because a roofed area is not similar to the camp of the Israelites in the wilderness. The camp of the Israelites in the wilderness had no roof. It was an open-aired space. And so all Reshut HaRabim in halacha consideration must be open-aired space. 99. Saditet. The Mishnah tells us, Sela shehu govhan asarav rochban arba. If there is a rock in a public area, in a Reshut HaRabim, and this rock has a height of 10 tfachim and is 4 by 4 tfachim squared, so that it has the dimensions of its own Reshut HaYachid, a private domain, then what happens? Hanotel mehen, if you take from it into the public domain, venoten al gaban, or you take from the public domain and rest something on that rock, chayav, that you would be liable for transferring from one domain to another, public to private or private to public. However, pachot miken, if the rock has dimensions that are smaller than a height of 10 and a length and width of 4 by 4, patur, you would be exempt, because you would not be transferring from public to private or vice versa, but rather you would be in a public area with an exempt space right next to it. But there would not be any chiyuv, no liability for ha'avara. Everyone have a great week.